Hello everyone, and welcome to a very weird country to play as in Hearts of Iron 4. There are a lot of reasons why it's kind of odd to be playing as this country, and I do have to explain myself a little bit. This mod Equestria War has gotten several updates over the years that add a lot of interesting things and paths and unique focus trees. For example, there's this country here, the Free Territory of Adelart, that just received a new focus tree. It has a ton of paths, a ton of unique icons. You can kind of see especially present through this middle section, but we're not playing as them. We're also not playing as some of the other recently updated countries. We're playing a country that's 5 years old, has no unique icons. Well, it has unique icons from the mod, but these are just generic icons made for a lot of different countries in the mod. Besides maybe this one. Maybe this one's unique, but it has a very interesting scenario. It kind of relies on RNG, so I might have to reset and set the AI to specifically do the right thing. Start by setting up our army on the border with our overlord, who won't be our overlord for too long, and we will prepare. Our country here starts off pretty weak, but not too terrible in terms of the average country in this mod. We have 4 usable civilian factories and 3 military factories, so that's not really bad at all. We can only do our army or air force focus tree, and I don't know if either of these are that useful. I might just not do any and save political power. We'll get started with our research though. So the current emperor, the leader of our overlord nation, Grover V, is going on a train tour throughout all of the puppet states, the areas of the empire. The train trip isn't too important. What is important is that he's going to die very soon, as a direct parallel to King George in base game. When he does, the Sunstriker clan will completely leave the empire's sphere, and the rest of us will be fighting against each other to see who takes over the empire, and that is very important in the case of this path here. It'll take a little while though. I think we have a few months. In terms of advisors, we will start things off by getting this army offense advisor first, and then we will maybe get a political advisor. None of these are that good for such a small nation. I might get the captain of industry just to prepare for later though, but that won't be until after I go into partial mobilization. There, like I said earlier, the emperor is now dead, and the empire has the most important focus tree out of all these countries. Some of them have really cool focus trees themselves, but the emperor has the important one for what we're doing today, because they have 2 options and a kind of secret third option. It's not really secret, but it's not obvious from the focus tree. Those being the Archon, leading the emperor, who's the religious guy, the Duchess, who's the head of the nobility, or the Lord Protector, who's the secret path. The Duchess, if you recall, is the leader of our country, which is very interesting. When your leader is made the leader of another country, so kind of it seems like you might become the controller of that country, but it's kind of the opposite. Once she's put in Griffinheim to be the regent, that gives her power over this duchy. But then once that situation develops is when we take things in a very interesting direction. Kind of an Austria-Hungary dynamic. And it kind of helps too that these guys have that Austria border, almost, kind of. And speaking of all this too, a dead emperor and an absent duchess. The duchess, our leader, is gone, and we just have this Regency council, which she's, you know, facilitating. And our political focus tree is still locked, but we do get our industry focus tree once Grover V dies, so we will go down this a bit. And now we have 2 options for our industry tree. Looking through each of them, this one on the left appears to be better for the long term. This one on the right appears to be better for the short term. The one on the right gives us factories really fast, a nice consumer goods buff, and then some other factories and lots of research stuff. On the left here, we get several permanent national spirits that boost things like factory output, efficiency growth, and retention. I am going to do the one on the right though, because I really like the consumer goods stuff, even though it's only temporary. And this temporary buff will put us in a situation where we can get so powerful that we don't need the permanent buff from the other side. Okay, and the Griffonian Empire, the Central Griffonian Empire, I guess I should say, has completed their focus titled the Duchess. Therefore, all of the states that are allied with the Archon here have broken away. And we get this event with the answer, has she utterly forgotten us? This does, though, unlock the rest of our political focus tree, and this is where things will get interesting. We'll just complete this focus first, and then we will continue with that political stuff. And so now that the Duchess, who's in charge of our duchy, rules the Regency council, it would probably make sense to side with her and reap some benefits from her ruling. But what makes this path interesting here is the option to not do that, which will side us with the Archon instead, in an interesting twist of events. No one will have seen this coming, and now they'll surely die. So yes, perfect. We now have Julius Eagleclaw, this guy being an uncle of the Duchess, ruling over the duchy in her absence. He will be a great regent who's definitely going to betray her. We get a pretty bad national spirit at first, but it's kind of necessary for now. And the Archon loyalists will become the ruling party, even though they already are, so I don't know why it says that. And now we here arrive to our focus, titled Secret Talks. Gabriella is misguided, attempting to take action against the rightful regent of the empire. While Julius loves his niece greatly, he must do what his faith and morals oblige him. As such, he will attempt to make contact with the Archon and pledge assistance in the upcoming conflict. We will at some point though need to divert our attention and complete these two focuses if possible, because that'll give us 3 military factories, doubling our military factories, which would be very useful in the conflicts to come, because depending on what happens, we might be in a very awkward situation. And so first we have to decide what to do with the nobles who are still loyal to her, because of course this is the Strawberry Duchy. We can either root them out, which I think might be the smart option, sway them to our side, which has the best benefit with -2% consumer goods, or we will be fine, surely. This is probably the stupid option. I kind of want to see what'll happen, but I will do sway them to our side, because I don't want, you know, this to fail. We will now, though, divert our attention and get those military factories real quick. There's a lot of steel here in the Strawberry Duchy, so we have plenty of it to produce guns with. We also have these decisions, too, that show our support for the Duchess and support for the Archon. We will obviously, with the path we're going down, want support for the Archon to be high, so we will take these decisions as they're available. And here with these focuses, too, I think we only need to do these 4, and we can skip these 3 for now. Our stability is really bad, but I think we should probably try to get to this focus fast. I don't know what the event does, but I assume it's probably important and increases our support for the Archon. Okay, and the Griffonian Empire is doing their focus titled Unite the Nation, so we will have to be prepared to say no. I don't know if Phoenicia will say no or yes. Hopefully they say no, otherwise this will be very difficult, but it's still possible. Okay, and here's the event joining the Empire. We don't want to click the one that ends our game. We'll click this one here. The Duchess has betrayed her own people, and we're no longer a puppet. It looks like Phoenicia is also no longer a puppet, and the Empire declared war on Phoenicia. So it looks like we'll be fighting both the Empire and Bronze Hill with Phoenicia on our side, which is good. I think we might even have enough divisions to cover this entire border too, which is very convenient. And we'll go ahead and now get this infantry expert. Okay, and they're force attacking into us and winning, which is kind of scary, a little bit problematic. This is really bad. These guys are called in, we're getting pushed back everywhere. I encircled them though, so I guess that's something to be happy about, but the encirclement might not stand for long, I guess. Also, once we get closer to our supply hubs, when they inevitably push us back, we'll be in a better situation. And here we get this event now too, Rise to the Archon's Call. We get some political power, some support for supremacy, and extra political power gain, less consumer goods. Okay, nice. This time we got an encirclement that we'll actually be able to keep, and it's of a tank. We'll just finish it up, and there we go. Now getting that one back. And that's the first step of many. We're now the ones that have supply, and they're having supply problems, so we'll just need to do our best to continue encircling and keep things up, because they have a better industry. If we just sit around and do nothing, they'll eventually beat us, or I guess we have the same military factories, so maybe they don't have a better industry. So maybe we could just sit back here and wait. I don't know, I don't want to risk it. We also have enemy nations that are going to be unifying, so if we just sit around forever, they'll unify before us. Okay, unfortunately I did have to retreat a bit closer to my capital, but we haven't given up any of our supply hubs yet, so they're taking a lot of attrition, except right here, and we're fine. Also, if you see now too, they aren't fully supplied, so their divisions are going to be a bit more weak. I'm going to try to encircle this tank by going around here. It might not work, but I think it's worth the try. Their tanks have been really annoying because I don't have anti-tank and they have green air. And here we go, the tank is encircled. I will start moving. This might be a little green greedy, but we have to win this somehow. I'm also denying their request at a non-aggression pact, because if I do win this, I am going to have to betray them. Now if I can get this one tile, I encircle these 3 guys. This is a tank, and we don't have anti-tank, but it is low on strength, so there is a chance that we can do this, though not an incredibly good chance. Yeah, this isn't going to be a possibility, unfortunately. If we can take the supply hub, maybe, but I don't know if we have enough divisions for an operation like this. Yeah, they are going to push us out of here. They did move that tank out. This is a really roundabout way to get this encirclement, but I think it's actually gonna work. Yeah, there we go. And while we were encircling them over here, they did almost get our supply hub, which would have been disastrous, but we were able to hold on to it, and we maybe could win now. The only issue is we've also taken a lot of casualties, just because making these encirclements with red air is terrible. I guess we technically have green air here somehow, probably because of Vethesia, but just not a good situation. Okay, they're kind of being stupid again. I was threatening to encircle some divisions that were here, and that didn't really work out, but now they've moved a lot of divisions off their front line. I don't know where all their oh, I see what happened. Well, we did it. That was actually kind of difficult. We had to do some interesting defensive things there. It was by no means free. We kind of got saved in the end, but this was very difficult. We earned our war participation. And there it is. Victory over the Central Empire, the Duchess who betrayed us and betrayed the people of the realm. It's now important too that we take Griffinheim, the capital, so that we, out of all of these others that are in the peace deal, are the ones that can form the empire, make things right. I'm sure that's what Julius would want to do. And look at that, borders actually look pretty good. This was very successful. It's usually not this nice. Before we declare ourselves the successor though, we have to hurry and finish our political tree. Again, another reason why we maybe should have not done this part of our industry tree and just gone straight for the political stuff, but I think if we didn't do that, we probably would be capitulated right now, so we'll just sit around for now. And with all of the equipment we got from capitulating them, we will train new divisions to eventually betray Vethesia here and declare on them. I'd like to be able to click this button before declaring on them, but we might just have to go after them. And this is a good focus too. It gives us 2 extra building slots in every state. This does though make me want to declare war on these guys before doing this focus, because if we own all of their states, then we get 2 building slots in all of their states too, but we already own all of Bronze Hill, so we probably should just click this and get the manpower before declaring on them. What is his name? The Helheim Cannonen 45mm Panzer. We can click the button now, but I won't, because if we click the button, we lose our focus tree, and I want to get this research slot first. And now one more thing to do. I want to do this to get this 10% construction speed. I think we will keep our industry tree, but I want to be safe. I don't want to lose that 10% construction speed. Okay, and yeah, we did lose our industry tree, so I'm happy that I got that 10% construction speed. Also too, because we supported the Archon, we literally just get the Archon focus tree from the regular Griffonian Empire. But this is a lot more difficult, because usually you would be doing these focuses years before now, so we're going to be pretty behind, but it's worth it for the cool path, I guess. And yeah, they don't have enough divisions to man their border, so this is mostly free. I won't actually battle plan though, because they are manning their border down here, and a battle plan down here would be disastrous. What we want to do is we want to encircle their capital. And yeah, the encirclements over here weren't as free as I thought they were, but we're going to get them anyways. We also are going to encircle everything over here, and then we can probably just battle plan to save my wrist some strain from having to micro so much this campaign so far. And I haven't been able to do a pure battle plan just yet, still having to give them some orders, but we're making a lot of encirclements now, and they've pretty much lost, especially once we take this supply hub and cut off this railroad, and all of this is encircled too. They got into Griffinheim, but it was just a little trap to get them all encircled here. And Vethesia has capitulated. This country here is the last one that we automatically already have cores on, so we will attack them first, and then we will finish off the other 4 over here. And here we go, we'll declare on Griffenmarschen. This should be easier than the last last couple wars, I hope at least. Pushing them even though they're last standing, so this is a pretty good sign. It's a lot easier to attack into Griefen too from the north than this side with the giant river here. So last but not least, we have Romau. They're very small, but it's very difficult to attack into that city. So what we do is we use the lure them out strategy. Now it'll be very easy to take Romau instead of almost impossible. Now we can just attack in from one side and just easily walk into the city like this. And that's it. The Empire is united. We still need to do some of these focuses to continue getting cores, but other than that, this is over. And hey, we aren't quite done with integrating everything, but we are going to do our first war outside of the home area here. I don't know if Aquileia will get involved in this, so I have the border defended in case, and if they get involved, I'm very scared for what they're doing because they have almost all their factories on tanks and only one on normal military equipment production. And they're being very aggressive. They're force attacking into us. This is kind of crazy. Oh wait, I just noticed that the Republic is in this war. Okay, yeah, this is kind of scary. If Aquileia declares on us, kind of doomed, but the Republic isn't too strong. And we have a lot of amazing focuses over here too outside of our political tree, so we should probably focus on some of these, maybe doing the army ones. With our tanks, we're making a little bit of progress. Things are getting ever so slightly better. If we can kick Skyfall out of this war, then we can easily deal with the Republic, or vice versa. I think getting rid of Skyfall will be the easier of the two. These tanks might not be amazing, but they're doing good enough. And there's a province open right here, which will encircle them. Well, they will have a port, but it'll still be difficult for them to maintain this. They're now in a very dubious situation where they need to hold on to this port, but then their capital is right there. And here. Now, all of this is actually encircled, and they'll probably evacuate the port, but if they don't evacuate the port, we can push them out of the port very easily. Okay, and Skyfall is out. It's just us versus the Republic. The Republic is getting volunteers, and there's some pretty decent tank volunteers, so it's not to be overlooked. Yep, and they got encircled. A lot of tanks here, though 2 of them are volunteers, so encircling volunteer tanks isn't that useful. Okay, and we're working on another encirclement. I guess we should start working on it from this side too. I feel like we can encircle a lot of divisions here if we are proactive about this. And this was quite crazy, but it looks like it's finally going to become an encirclement. We'll just pin these guys. This should be the majority of their army too now, so hopefully this will end it, and getting that encirclement is going to cause a lot less casualties than trying to just battle plan all the way there. And very nice, they're done. We will annex everything. I'm very happy we didn't have to go up into the north. That would have been miserable trying to get through the mountains up there. It seemed like this stuff wasn't cored by them yet though, so that is very convenient for us. Being honest, we probably should have sat around for a while back after we'd conquered these guys because half the empire still isn't cored. We will hopefully have that resolved soon though. And never mind, no time to wait. Aquileia is being smart and attacking us right now. They're stronger than us too, so this is going to be kind of scary. We can at least get to work coring the north while we just desperately try to hold on against Aquileia. Okay, and Whitetail started some border wars that are way far away from us and are now taking over our territory. Now that some of our actual empire cores over here are finishing, we're getting a lot more manpower, so we should be able to slowly field a bigger and bigger army as long as we continue this stalemate. I am going to be a bit aggressive though because we have green air here, we have our Cass overhead, we have 6 medium tanks, so I am going to make some encirclements in the meantime. We've guaranteed Hellquill too because we're very nice. Actually, I think our infantry might be so much better than their infantry that despite them having more manpower on the field, we could maybe battle plan into them. And here, this should be our first encirclement. Nice. And there will be more to come. Maybe one day I'll finally be able to battle plan too. That'll be so nice. Yeah, now we're just rolling over them battle planning. This is good. This war was a lot less difficult than I thought it would be. I guess they just kind of have bad divisions. Our divisions aren't anything special too. These are the normal infantry divisions we're using. It's not even a 20 I'm just lying to myself with the division name. Yeah, now we're going to encircle a large chunk of their army, collect their second largest city. Really can't wait to attack these guys and get revenge for all the raids and border wars. Okay, and now time for some sweet revenge. You remember too, this was the Sunstriker clan that was originally part of the big Empire faction that they broke away very early on. I don't think they even have a path to stay with the Empire, but it would be interesting if they did. Anyways, I'll see you all next time. Maybe then we'll play some modded content that has been released sooner than 5 years ago.